so today's video, we are going to be working on the Dodge Dakota RT again and working with the procharger kits, and we finally got the supercharger on there. So if you guys haven't checked out last video, click off this video right now and go watch the last video or last few videos. We finally got the correct procharger on here. So we had one that was spinning the wrong way. Now we have one that's spinning the correct way and building boost. Sounds ridiculous, but if you've been following along, you'll know that we ended up having a used kit. Jason, huge thanks to Jason again, but he acquired a used kit from somebody else who acquired a used kit, and it changed a bunch of hands, and in the process, somebody ended up, I guess, replacing the supercharger with one from a 1998 Cobra, Mustang Cobra, and that spins the opposite way. So when we put it on here, it looked a little bit funny, but I didn't know, honestly, that they made superchargers that spun the wrong way. Now we know. So what we're gonna do today, last video, we got that procharger on there. It's running, it's making boost, but we have the 3.4-inch pulley on here. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna put the smaller pulley on here because we were end up making about maybe 8 PSI or so, but we wanna make more than that. So we're gonna put the 3-inch pulley on it. It's gonna be a smaller pulley. It's gonna spin the supercharger faster and it's gonna make more boost. So that's the plan. And I'm also gonna try and find, not today, but I'm gonna find a belt that will work for this. So what I wanna do actually is I wanna find a shorter belt. And I think at this point, since we're gonna end up putting the intercooler up here, I'm just gonna eliminate the AC. So this truck is gonna be pure performance, and AC right now is kind of getting in our way. We could work around it, but the length of the belt on this thing is so freaking long. It's 120 inches long on this belt. So I wanna shorten that up because it'll get us into a nicer, shorter range of belts where there's more selection. Right now with a 120 inch belt, there's really only a couple companies that make it, and we're really limited on our belt selection. So I'm gonna eliminate the AC, and it's gonna come across here, go across to our power steering, and it'll make for a much shorter belt. And we can also remove all these lines and our condenser and just put it in here without having to worry about, you know, reconfiguring it all. So it's kind of the way I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep all the components in case we wanna put it back in, whatever happens. But for now, we'll end up doing it that way. So I'm gonna order that shorter belt and I'm gonna put the 3-inch pulley. But for now, today's video, 3-inch pulley, current belt, let's go. So now we'll take off this 3.4-inch pulley and we'll put on our 3-inch. So the bolt is out, and we'll slide this sucker off. Might need 2 hands, but we'll get her off and we'll put the other one on. Okay guys, and just like that, we got the 3-inch pulley on there. We got our belt tension back on there. Everything's tight. We retightened the pulley bolts, and let's go ahead and we're gonna upload a new tune from Flying Ryan. We'll put it in there and then we can do data logging and see how she runs. All right guys, and we have the HP tuners hooked up to the truck with our MPVI2 plugged in right there. We'll go ahead and load that file and then we can go for a run. So we pretty much just open up the file that Ryan sent back to us. We open it up, we click on this little chip with the red arrow, it sends it back to our truck. We load it and it's as simple as that. All right, so the tune's done being written. All we have to do is turn off our ignition, wait about 3 seconds, turn it back on, and we're done. All right, guys, so here we go. We'll go ahead and start it with that new tune from Flying Ryan, and then we'll go for a spin. So we'll let it warm up for a bit, and then we'll go. Okay, let's see what she does. Let's go for that ride. See what she does. It almost sounds like we popped the pipe off. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it's all it takes to pop a pipe off, because that's what she just did. We got no boost again. Well, we definitely popped off a pipe because you can hear it. So let's see which one it is. It's probably one that I didn't tighten again. Let's see what we got. These ones look good. I want to say it's down here. Sounds like. Yep, it's the one off the bottom of the air side, Jonathan. Does that look tight, Jonathan? Because now we got no boost twice. All right, guys, so we'll put on another band clamp. I'm running out of band clamps. We've already lost 2. So this is one of the extra ones I have. I'll throw it on, and then we'll go back out. Okay, so I actually went around and tightened every single one just to make sure, triple sure, double sure, quadruple sure that everything is tight so that we don't have another blown off hose. Let's try it. I think we're making a little more boost, boys. That's why we're blowing all these pipings. And the intercooler is a big restriction, so that's why it blew off right before it. So let's go out and see what we got. So she works pretty good, a lot better than she did yesterday. This tune is a lot better. The pulley's making a lot more boost. For example, if I step on it, I don't get traction right now, but woo! She is rocking. But our blow-off valve or bypass valve is definitely not working. You can hear it skipping like crazy, so. But she's headed in the right direction for sure. It moves a lot better than it did yesterday. Woo-hoo-hoo! Those noises! Alright guys, so we're back in the garage and it's working much better than before. So we got things more dialed in with Flying Ryan. So it's making about 10 pounds I saw on the gauge. I'll have to go back and look at the logs, but it looked like about 10 pounds. We still have a couple things to sort out on the truck, and let's go over that right now. So what we're gonna do, like I think I was mentioning earlier, I gotta try to find a shorter belt so we can bypass the AC. So it'll end up going around this pulley and then straight around our power steering. So we'll get a shorter belt. One other thing just to mention as well is we are getting a little bit of oil on the bottom of the procharger. I don't know if you guys can see my hands a little bit wet. Not like crazy, it's not like draining out or anything like that, but this apparently is a known thing with prochargers, is they build up a lot of pressure inside. I'm not sure if it's a breakdown of the seal on this side and it's pressurizing over here or what the case is, but I ended up loosening this bolt, and it's just one of the bolts that goes into it for the fill, but when I loosened it, it made a big hiss. I'll demonstrate that for you guys next time we have it running, but it's actually pressurizing inside here where the gear case is, and I think what it's doing is just forcing oil out of the seal, like past the O-ring. So apparently it's a common thing on these prochargers, so just keep that in mind. So what I'm gonna have to do is, people actually make kits that screw into here to vent the actual gear case, just so there's no pressure in there, so you don't end up pushing your oil out and all that stuff. So at this point, it seems like this one is pressurizing and driving the oil out of it. I don't think it has anything to do with us opening it and putting it back together, because we tighten the bolts and there's just a big O-ring in there, but it is pressurizing. So I think that's why it's pushing a bit of oil out. So I'm gonna have to investigate that. As far as other things on this truck, like I said, we're gonna get a shorter belt so we can bypass the AC. And now I think we're at the point, because you guys noticed, and I think I mentioned, how the intercooler piping came off right at the entry of the procharger intercooler. And that kind of indicates that that's where a restriction is. So the piping leading up to the intercooler, that intercooler is a little bit restrictive for what we're gonna end up doing. So we're gonna end up putting that Mishimoto one on here. We'll get rid of the AC components on the truck. We'll put that Mishimoto one on there. We've got all of our piping that you guys saw right here ready to go. So I got a bunch of different pipes and couplings and all that stuff so that we can plumb our intercooler here. We were originally gonna move the condenser back, the AC condenser back forward, or sorry, back, so then we have a bunch of room back there. But I think instead we'll just eliminate the AC at this point. It's not really, I think this truck is kind of going in a race truck direction, and it's gonna give us a little bit more room in the front here, and it'll just be easier instead of trying to relocate it. Plus it'll give us a shorter belt like I mentioned earlier. So it's kind of the direction we're going. That's pretty much where we're at. We're boosting. Like I said, I want to get that on there. Also, that kind of surging noise that you hear when I let off the gas, that's because this valve here isn't releasing that extra charge. So this is supposed to open up when you close the throttle, you get off the gas, whatever. That valve is supposed to open to let out the extra boost. That's not happening right now, but I'm not too concerned about it because we also have that blow-off valve, and I'll show you guys that too, because we're gonna have that blow off valve on there, which I'll grab right now. So here's the blow off valve that we're gonna end up putting on. So it's one of them tile ones, and it's going to connect to our 3-inch pipe that I bought, and I'll show you guys or link all this stuff at some point once you get a bit deeper into it. But this is gonna go right there onto there, and our V-band will go on. So this has a 3-inch pipe on it already, so it's kind of nice. We'll just end up plumbing it in. We don't have to do any welding since we don't have a welder at this point. I think that's the next thing actually, guys, is I do have a welder, but it's a MIG and it just does steel, and we don't have any gas with it, but I really think that's kind of the next step for the channel. So if you guys have any connections for welders or anything like that, or advice on which one to pick up, let me know in the comments down below. I think that's something we should probably invest in on the channel, since we're doing a lot of fabrication, it seems like, or at least it's coming up to be that way. So we could do a lot of different stuff, and I think it would be essential. But anyways, pretty much it for today's video, guys. As far as this truck goes, I'm gonna order some parts for that. But at this point, I really wanna get this Dakota up and running and to the track. So it's kind of the priority right now. And I think if I tackle this week, we should be, if all goes well, we should be able to have the new intercooler in the front within the week's time and ready to go to the track, as long as everything else works out. One last thing, if you guys have stock valve covers, let me know. I have my PO box in the description below. I need stock valve covers because I'm tired of these Mopar Performance ones just puking oil all over the place. They like to sit there and just leak out of here, even though I have brand new gaskets in it and grommets. They still leak, and I'm just kind of tired of it. I just want this truck to work at this point. So if you have stock ones kicking around, either send them to me down below or get a hold of me somehow, because I need some. So anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. We got more boost. We're back on track. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you on the next one.